there was a big public meeting that took place last Friday up in East Yorkshire in a place called Cottingham. And the plan there was that a couple of halls of residence at Hull University were on the market to be sold. Once again, as I say, with this new development, they would have become permanent sites. There was a big public meeting. I don't know what the atmosphere was, but Louise Aikster was there. We've spoken to her before, a care worker and somebody who was there at that public meeting. Louise, what was the atmosphere like last Friday evening in Cottingham?
It was amazing, to be quite honest with you, how so many members of the community, you know, had made the effort to join together and unite against all of it. There was so much passion in that room and so many strong views and opinions, and it was great. It was a really good turnout.
Now, it would seem, Louise, that there is a reprieve, that there's been a change, that the university are not now going to sell these halls of residence. So do you view this as a victory for your local community, or really is all you're doing passing the problems on to another neighbour?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, we do want to take this as a victory after, you know, everything that everybody's been through these past few years. You know, surely we have something to celebrate at last. But there is obviously still the occurring problem that where are they going to go if not to the lawns in Cottingham?
No, absolutely. Well, Louise, thank you very much indeed once again for joining me on the programme. Now, the local Member of Parliament for Cottingham is a certain David Davis MP, who joins me now. And David put out a message earlier saying, this is good news. And you basically said that you and the other MPs had lobbied and that the Home Office have, or it's either the Home Office or the university, have listened.
Well, let's be clear, it's not the Home Office, it's the university.
University,
It's the university, very clearly. You've got a new Vice-Chancellor, he'd arrived, got financial difficulties, as all institutions have. He's got this £6 or £7 million asset on his doorstep, and he goes to sell it effectively to the Home Office or its representative. And we said to him, you know, what about your local community? And to be fair to him, he took it on board and he made the decision. He actually made the decision a little while ago, but we said, please publicise it, and he did.
OK. So that is good news for you as a sitting MP. That's good news.
But you see, and for the people of Cottingham, most important.
No, absolutely. And Louise clearly was very pleased, and she said, "You know, we all need a bit of good news after the last couple of years." And I agree with her on that. I agree with her on that. But you see, the thing is, David, that the inner city hotels are all full. So they're now seeking rural market town locations. Sir Graham Brady, Hale, in his constituency, is about to get a hotel. Chris Heaton-Harris tonight. I'm not sure there's anything he or the local parish council can do about the private sale of a building. Frankly, nothing they can do. So what we're now seeing is direct pressure coming on some very senior figures within the Conservative Party. You know, I've watched this. We
all have.
You know, for the last 12 years, Conservative leaders and Home Secretaries have said we're going to stop illegal immigration. You come here illegally, Cameron said, Boris said, they all said, you know, you'll be sent away. But it never, ever happens. We used to deport a lot of illegals going back 15, 20 years. Hardly any get deported. You know, handfuls get deported these days. Your government was elected to take back control of our borders. There's a huge price to pay for this, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And I reckon it's in the top 4 issues that will decide whether or not Conservative governments return next time. You know, it's 1, 2, 3 or 4. I don't know. It depends on the day almost. And of course, these aren't solutions. These are a luster plus. I mean, they're permanent for the community, but they're not a permanent solution to the problem. Because if you've got, well, let's put your 90,000 to one side. Just this year, 45,000. Even if that goes on and they aren't being resolved, you're ending up with a never-ending demand for places that are not there. And what's more, by the way, I mean, we had a smaller version of this thing called Thwaite Hall in my constituency, where they're coming in. The first 100 that arrived, in the first week, 30 disappeared. They were all Albanians. Yeah. The locals tell me, I can't prove it, but like I say, they were all driven away in a fleet of cars. Presumably, as you were saying, the Albanian gangs that brought them over are exacting a price, whatever that might be, work on our, whatever it is they're doing. So, there's got to be a stop. This is why, before Christmas, 50 of us wrote to Rishi saying, look, there's one thing you can do fast. I mean, this is the problem. You need a fast solution. The one thing you can do fast is say, Albania's a safe country. It's got fewer references to the European Court of Human Rights than we have. I should be able to claim asylum in Tirana, particularly when the whips get to me. But the simple truth is you've got to do something fast. And actually, if we said, as Sweden has done, that, Albania is a safe country, then...
Yes, and zero applications in Germany and in France, and yet 12 or 14,000 thus far are here.
I went just down the road here to see the National Crime Agency to talk about the Albanians, right? The Albanian gang. Yeah. And they said to me, they had a wonderful phrase. They said, they're the most efficient criminals in the world. I've never heard the word efficient used about criminals. I said, what does that mean? They said, well, when they say they're going to do something, they do it, and they spot market opportunities. That's what this is for them. It's a ruthless, cruel, sadistic almost market opportunity. They looked at the approval rates for asylum. So as you say, most of Europe, zero. Here, 55%.
And once you've absconded, you're gone. You're gone. And you're not going to be found. And even if you are, you've probably got a chance of staying. David, honestly, is Rishi Sunak going to do anything to make a difference?
Well, I think he is.
Honestly.
I think he is. I mean, I think he's seized of the issue because I've talked to him about it in terms, face to face, not in a grand meeting, just him and me. Yeah. And he's seized of the issue. He understands what I've been arguing, which is the Albanian issue. That doesn't solve it all. No, that's half of it.
It'd be a start.
It'd be a huge start. Imagine. I mean, we've made a big deal about Rwanda. Rwanda, if it works, will be 500 people this year, maybe 3,000 next. If we stop the Albanian traffic, it's 12,000 straight away and every year thereafter. And then that allows you to get on top of the rest. Now, the others, you've got a problem. The problem with the others, some of them, let's say an Afghan who's worked for the British government, has got a real moral claim.
And we get that.
And so we have to deal with that. But there are lots of others that we don't need to give that approval to, and that's the more hard. That's the difficult bit. The first bit, the Albanians, we can do very, very quickly.
David, all the while, we have the British judges that we have, and we're signatories to the ECHR. We're not going to solve this, are we?
Well, you say that, but look, Sweden, social democratic country, held up as the model of modern civilization, and they've got zero. How did they get zero? They rewrote their laws, not now, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they saw this coming. 2 years ago, and they rewrote the laws to say, if you define as a safe country, it isn't just Albania, by the way, it's Albania, Mongolia, Serbia, all safe countries, you get sent straight back. No question, at the border.
Well, I think the battle against the British judges would become the real issue there.
Well, the Swedes saw it coming and stopped it with the law. That's what we have to do.
We saw it coming here on GBNews. We've been talking about it ever since the day we launched. David, thank you for joining me. Well done for your constituents. Yeah. But the problem is rather like a wing three-quarters rugby ball. It moves on to somebody else.